Okay. Net worth, we've looked at renter versus homeowner. Which one is going to have the most impactful, what's going to be the most impactful for your net worth, right? And you may say, well, what about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, things like that? So we're going to look at that, okay? We're going to look at two scenarios. And each scenario involves you having $10,000 to invest, right? You may say, well, Dominic, I don't have 10 grand. Well, that's okay. We'll talk about that afterwards. But right now, let's look at having $10,000 to invest, okay? One is we can invest it in stocks. Or one, we can invest it in real estate. This is my careful handwriting. You should see when it's not careful, it's bad. Stocks. If we look at the S&P 500, we track it for the last 10 years, it's increased year over year about 14%. So crash happened, right? We've had this lot of growth. So this is a good number. So we're going to take this number and who knows where it's going to go in the next 10 years. It may average very differently, but this is a good number. So if you put $10,000 into the S&P 500, mutual fund or something like that, and you looked at it for 1 year's growth, right? We could say that after 1 year, your amount that you have invested is now $11,400, right? Simple math, right? 10,000, add 14%, we've got that. So what we have is after 1 year of growth from your $10,000, you've made $1,400. And that's a pretty good return, right? We're looking really positive here, right? Because it's not going to be like that every year, okay? Some years it's going to be 10, some years negative. End of 2018, anybody who had money in stocks, we saw that, right? Now, I still have money in stocks, right? You just kind of, it does its thing. It's averaging out. Real estate now. If we had $10,000, so we took this investment, instead of putting it in stocks, we put it in real estate. How could you do that? Well, if you're a first-time home buyer, there are a lot of loan programs. And again, if you don't have 10 grand, we'll talk about that in a second. So just be patient. But $10,000, let's say, is a down payment for a 3% conventional loan. So we'll be able to buy about a $300,000 house, right? You got $9,000 down, some money for inspection, appraisal, maybe things like that. So $10,000 investment in real estate for a $300,000 house, which is our area. You can get a decent house for $300,000. Canton, Seattle. Here, yeah. Real estate, on average, goes up about 4% year over year, and that's over the last 30 years. And people may say, well, what about the crash? 08, 09, it's just everything tanked, right? That includes that. So 4% includes the crash. So you have it go down, you have it go up year over year on average, 4% the last 30 years. That's a little higher than that, but it's okay, we're right in there. If you bought a home for $300,000 and you put $10,000 down, or $9,000 plus some costs, right? And it increased 4% year over year, you would have a home value at the end of the year of $312,000, right? Because this 4% doesn't grow on the $10,000 you invested. The 4% grows on the $300,000, the overall value, right? So what I can show here is that with this same $10,000 investment, tracking the mutual fund or S&P 500 at 14%, 1 year, you've gained $1,400 in value. 1 year in real estate, same investment, you've gained $12,000 in value. Again, not good at math. Which one would you rather have, right? This is a big deal, okay? Now, again, $10,000, maybe everybody doesn't have that. There are bond programs, there are zero down loans, there are all sorts of things that you could take advantage of to still have this appreciation and investment in the long term and still go back to increasing your net worth like we talked about. So that's huge. Take advantage of that. That's how you build wealth, and that's how you take advantage of that growth in your net worth. Questions? Just ask.